It was a detail proudly announced on a Friday evening. A planned schedule for a summer visit. Yet what it contained would set the entire landscape of British public relations and royal drama talking for weeks. The celebratory mood surrounding the announcement was instantly punctured when the Duke of Sussex was officially informed that his urgent application for a state security package had been flatly denied. According to court documents and official statements, this devastating legal reality means that the family will receive zero taxpayer-funded police protection while moving through public spaces in the United Kingdom. Consequently, the Duke is actively reconsidering bringing his wife and children to Britain for the scheduled events, as the lack of state protection introduces significant safety risks. The couple had fully intended to spend a highly structured 5 days in Britain during early July, participating in a series of high-profile public events. These engagements were designed to relate directly to the Invictus Games and various charity patronages supported by the Duke. The carefully coordinated plan involved bringing Prince Archie, now 7, and Princess Lilibet, now 5, across the Atlantic so they could finally spend quality time with their grandfather, King Charles. While the young children were never expected to attend any public engagements, the Duchess of Sussex was fully scheduled to join her husband during official visits to the historic Royal Hospital, Chelsea. She was also slated to appear at a massive anniversary event at the National Exhibition Centre in Birmingham, representing a high-profile return to public duties in the United Kingdom. The sudden refusal of state security has thrown these public appearances into complete disarray, leaving organisers and security teams to navigate an unprecedented logistical challenge. The global stage is now preparing for a combustible royal reunion that has sent shockwaves through Buckingham Palace. What was initially intended to be a structured solo visit by Prince Harry to celebrate his Invictus Games has transformed into an institutional crisis. The sudden, calculated inclusion of Meghan Markle in the upcoming travel itinerary has completely upended the fragile diplomatic negotiations between the family factions, creating a highly volatile situation. This development has turned a simple grandfatherly reunion into a complex chess match, where the very future of royal public relations hangs in the balance. For months, royal insiders believed that any potential reconciliation between the king and his second son would take place in quiet, isolated quarters, far from the prying eyes of the media. However, with the Duchess of Sussex now confirmed to join her husband on British soil, the stakes have been elevated to a dangerous new zenith, reigniting old animosities and forcing the royal firm to confront the unresolved trauma of the past split. According to high-level sources well placed within elite circles, Meghan joining Prince Harry for this upcoming reunion with King Charles raises the stakes amid ongoing family tensions to a level that has left senior royals deeply unsettled. The atmosphere within the palace is described as icy, with particular distress radiating from the household of the Prince of Wales. Prince William, who has steadfastly maintained a wall of silence regarding his brother's relentless public broadsides, is said to view this sudden joint appearance not as a genuine gesture of peace, but as a highly orchestrated public relations maneuver designed to re-establish the Sussex brand's connection to royalty. The historical bad blood between the brothers introduces an unpredictable dynamic that complicates every single security protocol and emotional boundary currently in place. Palace aides are working feverishly behind the closed doors of Clarence House to ensure that any physical interaction is brief and controlled. Yet, despite the underlying dread and the complex logistical challenges, the Sussexes are actively planning a United Kingdom trip with their children, marking a historic return. In a gesture that demonstrates his enduring affection, King Charles has offered them a stay at a royal residence, a generous olive branch that has nevertheless ignited fierce internal debate. While this offer provides a safe haven from external threats, it does nothing to solve the immense logistical nightmare of transporting the family between public charity venues and their secure accommodation. The offer has divided palace opinions, highlighting the deep-seated tensions that remain unresolved. To understand the profound tension underpinning this impending visit, one must look closely at the psychological breakdown of the Sussexes' departure from active duty. The brutal truth that many royal traditionalists are now whispering is that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle never actually wanted to permanently sever their ties to the historic institution of the monarchy. Instead, their original strategy was far more ambitious, aiming to completely rewrite the rules of the British Crown in their own exclusive favour. Their ultimate goal was to establish an unprecedented half-in, half-out arrangement that would allow them to retain all the glittering titles, magnificent palaces, taxpayer-funded security, and priceless royal connections, while simultaneously absolving themselves of the grueling duty, strict discipline, and rigorous public accountability that defines the lives of working royals. They genuinely believed they could have it both ways, operating as high-flying global celebrities while leaning on the ancient credibility of the British sovereign. They operated under the delusion that they were the monarchy's ultimate golden ticket, convinced that the entire institution would crumble into obscurity without their specific brand of star power. They expected that the family would eventually come crawling back, begging them to return on whatever terms they chose to dictate. What an extraordinary delusion that has turned out to be, as the institution has shown no signs of pleading for their return. Instead, the Crown has demonstrated its ability to function without their involvement. Instead of clapsabbling, the royal family responded to the Sussex defection with a masterclass in institutional survival. The firm closed ranks, adapted its public strategy, shifted responsibilities to trusted working members, and carried on with its national duties as if they barely noticed the sudden absence of the self-styled progressive royals. The day-to-day business of the state continued without a single stutter, proving to the world that the so-called irreplaceable Sussexes were, in reality, entirely dispensable. The monarchy did not just survive the tumultuous storms of the past few years, it proved through steady service and quiet dignity that it never actually needed them in the first place. This realization has delivered a brutal, lingering humiliation to the couple's lifestyle. After spending years insisting in international interviews, multi-part documentary series, explosive memoirs, and endless media appearances that the royal family could not possibly function properly without their modernizing influence, the Duke and Duchess made a terrifying discovery: it was they who could not function successfully without the structural validation of the royal family. Every single business venture they launched, every tearful interview, and every commercial collaboration screamed the exact same pathetic truth. They simply cannot let go of the institution they claimed trapped them. They have proven completely incapable of building an independent brand without constantly milking and criticizing the very family tree they publicly profess to despise. Now, as the commercial luster of their independent empire begins to visibly fade, and the harsh realities of global competition set in, the prospect of a dramatic royal reconciliation has suddenly become incredibly attractive to the California-based couple. After spending nearly half a decade trying to burn the ancient foundations of the British monarchy to the ground with uncorroborated accusations of institutional cruelty, the Sussexes are suddenly sniffing around the edges of London for a strategic way back into the inner circle. To seasoned royal observers, this sudden shift does not look like emotional growth, nor does it look like a mature desire for family healing. It looks like pure, unadulterated desperation. It stands as one of the most embarrassing own goals in modern royal history, a catastrophic miscalculation born from betting their entire futures on the absurd notion that the crown needed them more than they needed the crown. Today, the British monarchy remains firmly standing, anchored by a sense of national duty, while the Sussexes' grand vision of a multi-billion-dollar entertainment empire has largely failed to materialise. Yet, the logistics of their planned return have run headfirst into a massive, state-sanctioned roadblock that threatens to derail the entire trip before their private jet even departs the tarmac. The ongoing legal warfare surrounding Prince Harry's personal security has reached a critical boiling point. The Duke of Sussex is currently actively reconsidering bringing his wife and children to Britain after learning through formal channels that they will absolutely not receive automatic, taxpayer-funded police protection during their stay. The couple had fully intended to spend a highly structured 5 days in Britain, participating in a series of high-profile public events relating to the Invictus Games and various charity patronages in early July. The carefully coordinated plan involved bringing Prince Archie, now 7, and Princess Lilibet, now 5, across the Atlantic so they could finally spend quality time with their grandfather. While the young children were never expected to attend any public engagements, the Duchess of Sussex was fully scheduled to join her husband during official visits to the historic Royal Hospital Chelsea and a massive anniversary event at the National Exhibition Centre in Birmingham. The details of this summer trip were proudly announced on a Friday evening, sending the British press into a state of frenzy. However, the celebratory mood was instantly punctured when the Duke was officially informed that his urgent application for a state security package had been flatly denied. And this devastating legal reality means that the Sussex family will receive zero taxpayer-funded police protection while moving through the public spaces of the United Kingdom, leaving them reliant entirely on their own private security apparatus, which possesses severely limited legal authority on British soil. The only exception applies when the family is located directly within the physical boundaries of official royal residences. It was within this specific context that King Charles extended a gracious personal invitation for his son's family to spend part of the trip inside a highly secured royal property. While this offer provides a safe haven from external threats, it does nothing to solve the immense logistical nightmare of transporting the family between public charity venues and their secure accommodation. Predictably, sources close to the Sussexes have reacted with fury, accusing the Home Office of willfully creating hostile conditions that make it nearly impossible for the family to safely move around. The ongoing tension highlights a deep-seated belief that the establishment is intentionally penalising them. This reliance on private security presents a severe challenge on British soil, where private guards do not possess the same legal authority or police powers as state officers. Without official police protection, the family cannot be escorted through public areas with the same level of security clearance. This limitation has turned the logistics of their planned public appearances into a major security risk. The couple's current efforts to secure a royal return contrast sharply with their previous media campaigns, which featured intensive criticisms of the royal family. Their international interviews, multi-part documentary series, and memoirs detailed their grievances against the institution. Now, however, the commercial necessity of maintaining a royal connection appears to have prompted a shift in their approach. Prince William's household has reportedly expressed deep concern over the potential media spectacle surrounding the joint appearance. The Prince of Wales has consistently refused to engage publicly with the criticisms levelled by his brother in various media platforms. The prospect of a highly publicised reunion is seen as a disruption to the monarchy's ongoing focus on official duties. Sources close to the Sussexes have expressed frustration with the Home Office, suggesting that the refusal of state security is a deliberate attempt to restrict their movement. The decision has intensified the legal dispute between the Duke and the British government over his security status. The ongoing tension highlights a deep-seated belief within the Duke's circle that the establishment is intentionally penalising